Hi, welcome back to Walker Guitar. This lesson is going to be about relative major and minor scales. I'm going to keep it very practical. I'm not going to get too far into the theory because that's hard to do, on video without having somebody here to ask questions back and forth. It's a little too much. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do it in a practical player's sense, and hopefully be able to show you guys how to take scales you know, and say for instance you know a minor scale, to be able to locate a major scale inside of that exact same minor scale pattern. Conceptually it's actually quite easy. Like I did in my previous lesson with how to move scales up the neck or down the neck and change keys, playing the same scale in all keys essentially, is I'm going to take A minor pentatonic, in this case, the traditional and the most common of all scale patterns. So that's 5th fret. So if that rings a bell, great. If not, I've provided a link that you can review that scale with before you jump into the lesson at Walker Guitar, and you can check it out there. And here we go. The concept is very simple. You're going to probably have a lot of questions, but just live with them unanswered for now, and it'll make sense down the road, I promise, sooner or later. And believe me, the more you know, the more questions you have, kind of like anything. So what we're going to do is take A minor pentatonic. So just to refresh, we're at the 5th fret with the first finger on the low E string, and we're just running up that. We're going to go first finger, pinky on 8. Next string's first finger, 3rd finger on 7. So it's first pinky, first third, first, 3rd again, first, 3rd again, first pinky, first pinky. So it's pinky, 3rd, 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 pinky, pinky. Now, last lesson we reviewed the octave shape inside of it, which is very important, where that's our A note. Our next A note is at the 7th fret of the D string, and our final A note is on the 5th fret of the top E string. So we have basically E, E, E. Those are all the same pitch. That's the octave shape, or the framework of the scale, and that's very important to know. Now, now let's just say that you know A minor pentatonic very well, but you have no idea how to play a major scale. All you know is this minor pentatonic scale. So there's two concepts that are going to happen here, and they change just very slightly depending on if you know a pentatonic scale or if you know a full scale. And the difference is a pentatonic scale has 5 notes, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different notes before they repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 notes until they start to cycle. So it's a very simple concept. For pentatonic notes, all you do is you go, if you want to find what's called the relative major, you have to go up 1 note in the scale. So in this case, we're on an A note. As we move up, that pinky note actually is the center of a major scale, the relative major. Now the name of this pinky note is C. So what that means is that this scale is now going to be named C major, and it starts from the pinky note. It's centered around that note, rather. And you can kind of hear all of a sudden it's major. Let's say that I put a scale on top of it, or sorry, a C chord on top of it. Okay, so we have a little C chord. This same A minor scale will now sound like a C major scale. Now, what's also important to note with this is that as we moved up 1 note, is that every other A note would also move up a note to find the next octave shape. That's a little unclear. So what I mean by that is that as we've learned our A octave shape pretty well, at this point. Hopefully kind of well. And we went up one note in the scale to C. So that means that on the next A note, we need to move up one note as well. The next note from the middle A note would be the 5th fret on the 3rd string. That's the next C note, and you can kind of hear that if you play your pinky note and that 5th fret, that they're the same note as well. The next A note we had was the top A note, was the 5th fret on the high E string. That moves up to the next note in the pentatonic pattern as well. So that is the final C note. So we have, and you don't need to stretch your hand like this to get it, but if you can, it does kind of help visually. I think it helps to sort of see that the octave shape has changed. Now the scale pattern itself hasn't moved. It's still the exact same notes, but instead of them sounding like they want to end on A minor, they don't sound like this is home anymore. It wants to end on that octave note. Now all the notes will fit perfectly. It's the same pattern, but now it's centered around the C notes. So the name of this is a C major pentatonic. It's still a pentatonic, so keep that in mind. What we've done is we've changed the pentatonic from minor to its relative major. So we've gone in this case from an A note, from an A minor scale to a C major pentatonic scale. Okay, so this concept's a little bit trickier to get used to, but that's the general idea, is that with pentatonic scales, you go up from the octave shape, from your octave, not the octave shape, sorry, from the octave in whatever octave you're in, and you go up one note, and you've found the home note of the relative major. And so if you know your neck pretty well, and you're studying the notes on the low E string, you're kind of getting used to it, and you're going, okay, A sharp, B, C. Oh, that's a C note, so that means that now I'm in the same pentatonic as a major pentatonic, and its name is C. It's a C major pentatonic. So that's the first concept. Now the same is true if you know, for instance, let's say you know a major pentatonic, but you don't know a minor pentatonic. So let's say you know a C major pentatonic, and I'm going to use the same, actually I'm going to use the same pattern just for argument's sake, but let's say you know this pattern. And you know that pattern, and you're trying to figure out how to find a minor scale from that major scale. Well, inside of this exact same scale, you can find the relative minor scale. So the way you do that is you just go back one note if you're using a pentatonic. So in this case, come back one note there. If this is your home, if you're going back from this octave here, go back one note in the scale and you found your A note, and well, you may not even know the name of the note, but you found the octave shape. It takes a little bit of work, but that's the general concept, is you go back one note to find a minor pentatonic from a major, or you go forward, you go up one note from a minor pentatonic to get to a major pentatonic. Now the same is true going from a full minor scale, not a pentatonic, a full scale, and trying to find the relative major scale from that minor scale. Now with an A minor scale, it's going to be the same note, but you have to go up two notes from the root of a minor scale. So A minor is a little busier, and if you don't know it, that's okay, but if you do know it, it's 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. Now we have a full scale, 7 notes until they repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. And all you have to do is go up 2 notes. So you're here, you move up 2 notes, and it's going to be the same note as it was in the pentatonic. That's an important connection as well. I think it's better though to know that you're going up 2 notes from the minor scale, from the home of the minor scale, from the root, to find your major scale root. So that's home again. As you come all the way up, go up 2 notes here, that's your home again. Go up 2 notes here, that's your home. Basically, and I know I might be losing some of you here, is that if you know a full minor scale, that's going to make total sense. If you don't, you can study a minor scale, and as long as you know your octave shape, if you go up either 1 note in the pentatonic or 2 notes in the minor, you'll find that that's the relative major. It's the same exact thing, you just have to remember that it's 2 notes that you go up in a minor scale, and 1 note if it's a minor pentatonic scale. So if you know your your C major scale, you go back 2 notes. So you're here, you go, okay, just go back 2 notes and I can find my minor pentatonic. Back 2 notes here, okay, I found my minor scale. The root of my minor scale. So I hope that that was useful for you. I hope that that helps out a little bit, makes sense. Like all things musical, it takes a lot of application to get used to. One thing I highly recommend is to review both octave shapes from both the minor and the major, the relative minor and relative major. So as you do your A minor pentatonic, get used to playing that octave shape, and then go up 1 note, find your major, go up 1 note from this A, find your major, the C, go up 1 note from this, find the C, and review all those C notes. Because it's the same exact scale framework, but since the octave shape has shifted, it trips you up, it tricks your mind, because to some degree things look different. The same licks won't work, they're going to sound different. But that's one of the great things about guitar, because you can find a major scale or a minor scale by just knowing one of those scales. And furthermore, with the previous lesson about shifting up or down the neck, wherever you center that octave note, so if we're using this scale and we're in major, we'd be playing it with the pinky note, the A minor pentatonic / C major pentatonic, so 8th fret is your pinky note, that's a C. You're playing now a major pentatonic. You can play a major pentatonic in any key by moving your pinky. You could play an A major pentatonic by moving your pinky to that A, playing the same note. And it fits. And this really unlocks a lot of possibilities without having to learn a different scale for each position on the neck. Because that is great, but that's a lot of work as well. So I hope you enjoyed this concept. Feel free to apply this now in the jam tracks section of Walker Guitar. There's, I think, 30 right now. There's 30 jam tracks or something. Most of them are good. That you can check out, and underneath each title it tells you what the key is, and some of them are major, some of them are minor. So try to apply these principles a little bit and use your minor pentatonic. Just start with that one. Start with the easiest pattern and center it on find your note. If it's in C sharp minor, you got to find a C sharp note, which in this case is 10th fret. And then you can jam over it with that scale. If it's in let's say E major, then you need to remember that, oh, the scale starts with the pinky note. And then you find the E note on the low string. This is an E, there's another E at the 12th fret. And then you would know that, oh, C sharp minor pentatonic / E major pentatonic. It's actually the same scale shape. Review your octave shapes. Get used to what they look like in major and minor around E. There's a lot to absorb. So I hope that this is helpful. Send your comments, your lesson requests to Walker Guitar, and I'll see you guys next time.